Marcel, where are you going with that disc? You are not putting that on again. Marcel, okay, if you press that button, you are in very, very big trouble.
Attention. Everybody stop what you're doing. It's time for The Unwritten Rule, a Mizzou sports podcast brought to you by the Believe Network, alongside Payton Haverman and Kenny Van Doren. Here is your host, Jack Knowlton.
Welcome back to The Unwritten Rule. Today is Monday, July 14th, and it's Mount Rushmore season. We have hit the full lull of mid-July. No major Jason Crow updates for this show. We will have plenty covering, his commitment, however that ends up in the next two shows. We'll have some stuff obviously on Friday, as well as some more stuff on Sunday, depending on how that goes. So obviously still monitoring that, but nothing major. We'll have a couple more Mizzou newsy things in quick hits. Main thing, we're going to talk about a new baseball commit, but we thought we'd do a Mount Rushmore first and foremost to kick off the show. It's one we talked about doing after we did the Mount Rushmore of college football players, our favorites from the 2010s. We're going to do the same thing, but with college hoops. I'm excited for this one. I was looking up a list. I have a long, big board. We're all very big basketball fans, and hopefully we're talking about more basketball news, Mizzou related, coming up this coming week with Jason Crow's commitment. So we'll have more on that later on. But I think it's going to be a fun Mount Rushmore, Payton and Kenny. How big are y'all's list? Because we've also kind of been building 30. Up to this one. 30. Payton has 30. Kenny, do you have a rough estimate?
About 15, but
okay. Yeah, Kenny's got it's. Yeah, go ahead.
It's 30, and it's an SB Nation article from Ricky O'Donnell.
Okay.
So shout out Ricky O'Donnell.
Yeah, you guys won't even have to worry about me. I'm just going to pick my players, and none of them are going to be people you all have thought of. So it'll be fine.
I think Kenny went deep. So maybe Payton and I'll have some crisscross, but I'm excited for this. I have a long list as well. I was looking at some Reddit threads, not an avid Reddit user, but Reddit's good for things like that, just naming obscure basketball players. So that's what we're dialed in on. Kenny, should we get this started? You want to spin the wheel?
Yeah, I'll spin the wheel. I did the original order like we used to do, Jack, Kenny, Payton, because that's the order of the show. I assume it's just going to be
it's not gonna matter. It absolutely.
Oh, wow.
Matter.
Look at that, Jack. You're first. How about that?
Wow. Non-rigged wheel.
I hate this wheel.
For the first time ever.
Oh, great. I got 2. Awesome.
Oh.
It's fine, Payton. My picks won't matter to you, so you'll be fine.
I have my top 3. I absolutely have the top 3.
Payton,
and
I have
one
a
of these
theory.
Will absolutely not make it to me.
I have a theory that this is a rigged wheel because before you joined our call, Kenny told me that he did want, he was going to go last. Not that he wanted to go last. He said he was going to go last because his picks weren't.
Clairvoyant Kenny, they call him.
Yeah, so he might have just rigged the wheel to let him go last. That's my point. Okay, so I'm first. This is a little bit scary. I'm not going to pick DeAnthony Thomas again. I think I got to go with one who he's nostalgic to me. And I think this has got to be my pick. Now you guys can debate this because his career ended in the 2010s, but it actually started outside of it. Okay. That we're counting that.
You played a second in the 2010s. I think that counts.
So he played 2010-11. So he snuck in there and I got to pick him. One of my favorite NBA players of all time because he was one of my favorite college basketball players of all time. I have his jersey from his college days. I got to go. Oh,
dang it, man. Yep. I know who it is.
Payton, I don't know. I'm going cardiac Kemba Walker with
that was my 1-1. I was going to take Kemba. Crossover, step back. Oh, wait, no, that's Isaiah Thomas, but
no, it's Kemba. It's the step back Walker, cardiac Kemba does it again. Yeah, UConn had to win, 8 games in a row to win the national championship with where they were in the tournament.
Just that.
And they did just that.
No, that's that's 1-1 for me. I think when anyone thinks of that kind of era of college basketball, within the first 2 or 3 names, you're going to get Cardiac Kemba. That was going to be my first pick if I had the first overall pick. Luckily, I have 2 guys in that same tier who I value pretty equally. I'm going to go with my... What?
Is it my turn? Oh, wait, no. I thought I got second. Never mind. Go ahead, Ben.
We just had a whole thing about how
you rigged the wheel to go last.
I don't know why. I thought for some reason I was going second.
You literally rigged the wheel to go last.
So, I am going to go with Anthony Davis.
Okay.
I think Anthony Davis, when you think of basketball like back in that era, one of the first things you're going to think of also is the one and done era at Kentucky. John Calipari was like obviously the man that drove that whole era, and by and large the most successful one was Anthony Davis. Just an unbelievable year. I know it didn't end, that was the one that ended with the championship over Kansas, right?
Anthony Davis won the national title. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, he was the most successful. That wasn't the unbeaten team. I got him mixed up for a second, but yeah, the unibrow.
We'll call back to that team a little later on.
Yeah, I figured he'd get drafted. I know exactly who you're talking about, but yeah, the unibrow. Of course, you have so many other great names from that era. You have Cat, you have Booker, you have the Twins. You
can go back to John Wall.
Yeah, John Wall, Nerlens Noel. Maybe those guys will maybe be picks, but I'm going with Anthony Davis. I think he's easily the biggest success story out of that. Probably the best NBA career out of that group too, I'd say.
Yeah. I mean, my picks are just going to be.
I think you're going to take one that I had, like the third of my top 3 that I had.
Yeah, you're not going to.
I think you will.
I'm taking Fab Melo with this pick.
Boy.
That's where you guys should know where I'm going with this. I am taking strictly Syracuse players from my childhood, and I'm starting off in the 2010 season with Fab Melo. This was his freshman year, but his sophomore year, I mean, he was incredible. He ended up being a first-round pick after that year. Rest in peace to Fab Melo as well.
Yeah.
But, I mean, incredible force in the paint. And so this era of Syracuse basketball, there were some issues, but it was one of the best eras of Syracuse basketball. This is what I grew up going to watch when I used to spend my holidays in upstate New York. And Fab was my favorite player of that era. The second favorite player of that era is Rakeem Christmas. And I loved Rakeem so much. I had his jersey at the time when they could do that and get away with it. So I had a 25 Syracuse shirt that I used to wear all the time. And I'm going to take Rakeem there at number 2, Philly product.
It's a good pick.
This is a fun bit. And, I've discussed, because obviously I think both of us probably, we've had a lot of discussions about Syracuse basketball just from that era. They had a lot of fun teams back then,
Oh, yeah.
A lot of fun Final Four runs as double-digit seeds or just deep postseason runs. And Fab Melo is a hell of a player. Like, legitimately, I think one of the better players of that era of college basketball. So that's a fun bit. Obviously, I don't know if any of these players would have been drafted by Knowlton or I in these rounds.
I have a guy on my board who I'm sure Kenny will take if I don't select him. I would think.
Okay, so that's interesting.
Based on his criterion that he's now revealed.
I do like that bit, Kenny. Those are 2 fun picks as well. So I'm going to go with, I think this is a steal then. To get 2 of my top 3 on my board is fantastic. I'm going Zion Williamson. Williamson, the only Duke team I've ever actually found myself rooting for was Zion, Cam Reddish, RJ Barrett. That team was so much fun. They had the legendary tournament game against UCF. I still cannot believe UCF did not get either of those baskets to go in on that last possession. It's a shame that trio did not get to go to the Final Four. It's a shame we didn't see them play for a national title because that team up until this last one with Cooper Flagg, I think was easily the most fun and the most rootable, likable Duke team I've ever watched. So that's for lack of a, I guess pun intended, that's a slam dunk pick for me. at the 5th overall pick. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it's an excellent pick. That would have been my next one. So now I'm kind of deciphering who I should pick, and I only really have to worry about Payton in terms of stealing. I think I'm gonna go for a guy who I really enjoyed his tournament run. It didn't end with him involved in the kind of play that is iconic to the championship game that he participated in, but he had an electric career. He's now probably the best player from this team in the NBA. Plays with a few of his former college teammates in the NBA. I'm going to pick Jalen Brunson. I really enjoyed those Villanova teams. He was the best player on him, the point guard. I think I got to go Jalen Brunson.
Not sure if that's the Duke or the Villanova player I would have taken, but he would have been in my honorable mention. He's probably the best Villanova player, though. So,
yeah, him, Bridges. I mean, Ryan Arcidiacono is a really fun one. That if you're just talking
Josh
college,
Hart
he's the one who made the pass
from that era.
DiVincenzo, Josh Hart. There's some great ones. And the next one I want to go with. Oh, there's so many that I'm going to be.
There's some of them would myself for not taking some of these guys.
I think I got to just go with a kind of at the time. I mean, they're not like a mid-major because obviously they've ranked up, but I feel like when I was a kid, he helped put this team on the map. He won the Player of the Year too. Yeah, I'm going to go with it. Give me Doug McDermott as
he was going to get drafted by me. If he, in the 4th round, I think.
I'm going to go with Dougie McBuckets. He just had such a fun career. Dad at Creighton, cool story. Won National Player of the Year. You don't see that too often with schools even Creighton. Obviously, they've kind of elevated their profile a little bit, but the fact Creighton's produced a National Player of the Year, more recently than some certain schools, it's pretty impressive. So I'll go with him. It's like an Obi Toppin type of player.
That is a fun pick.
All
Obi Toppin is I guess he's more of a 2020s player because he was 19-20 season, but
yeah,
he wouldn't be on my board. But that is a fun shout. That just a fun aside. Okay,
I'm going to go with Frank Mason, Jack. I honestly thought that's who.
I thought you were maybe going to say Frank Mason or the guy I'm about to pick.
This is really tough because we are a Missouri podcast. He is one, and there are 2 more Kansas players that I actually kind of enjoyed when they were in college, and one of them is on my board. I probably won't end up drafting him, but I'll read him in the eye.
I won't be taking a Kansas player, so you can just say who they are now.
The other 2,
honestly, they're more of a sum of the parts program when you think about it.
The play style, and that's fair. The play style and the discourse around this guy's play style makes him a memorable player for me. I thought about putting Udoka Azubuike on my list. He just had such a funny.
That would have been a horrible pick, Jack.
I wasn't going to pick him. I didn't even put him on my board, but I did. He was one of the first that came to mind. The one I did put on my board from Kansas was Devontae Graham. I loved Devontae Graham in college. He was really good.
And I will say, growing up in Kansas City, Devontae Graham in particular is really beloved because nobody really expected that Kansas team to do anything, and they made the Final Four. So he was, unfortunately, he made a lot of Kansas fans very happy, universally beloved. But I'll go with I'll shift gears. I'm gonna go with another blue chip, just blue blood rather, program. One of the key reasons you heard one of the most ridiculous stats I've ever heard, and that was if you went to school at Michigan State, you were pretty much guaranteed a Final Four appearance because they'd go once every 4 years. And they've had a lot of a ton of fun players go through there, but I'm going with the one that I think is the most iconic and was absolutely terrible for my NBA team, Denzel Valentine.
Oh my gosh.
Has to be on this list. So many great Michigan State teams, and it felt like every one of them was led by Denzel Valentine. He was just so many good memories of watching Michigan State. Was he on the one that lost to Middle Tennessee State?
I believe his career ended at the hands of the Middle Tennessee State.
And that is that's not a fitting way to go out. But because I remember Michigan State that year was the pick to go, like, for everyone, like
Yep.
the most popular pick. Even though they were a 2 seed, everyone believed that team was the national title favorite. And a huge reason of that is going to be Denzel Valentine. And yes, I found it here. The Spartans' first round loss to Middle Tennessee during Valentine's senior season felt like the biggest upset in tournament history. And that was from Ricky
It really
O'Donnell.
did.
So that was, and it was like a wire to wire loss too for Michigan State. They were never in the league.
They lost by like 20. I remember walking
Yeah.
home from high school and watching the end of the game and just watching my bracket melt down on like day one of the tournament. And I was like, this is not supposed to happen. And then 1 year later, you got the first ever 16 over a 1 upset. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, bad couple years. But Denzel Valentine, despite the ugly ending, I think one of the most iconic players from that era, from one of the most iconic teams in that era.
I think that's a great pick. All right, Kenny, who are your Syracuse?
My last two. This is a fun one.
I want to see if I got one.
Wait, I want to know, like, who's the one that you had on yours? I guess you should just say it after I say mine.
Yeah. I want to see if I got one, if I guessed.
So my next one, this is my favorite college basketball player of all time, just because I never got to see Melo play in college, and I always loved Melo just because he's played at Syracuse. But Tyler Ennis, they called him the Iceman. He had one of the most incredible comeback victories over Pitt in the mid 2010s. It is the most like memorable Syracuse game that I've ever seen. I've seen some outlets do like, 10 years later, this past year about it. And it was just, really cool era because it was like right after, the losing the wins and, a really kind of troubling time for Syracuse, new players coming in. CJ Fair was still on these teams. Trevor Cooney was emerging. Scrappy white guard, Jeremy Grant, the one of the 2 Grant brothers that made it to the NBA. Rakeem Christmas was still on his team. Michael Benajay, DeJuan Coleman. It was just a good era of Syracuse basketball. So I'm going to take him there. This next one is kind of hard because I got a lot of guys. I got Scoop Jardine. I got CJ Fair, like I mentioned. Man. Brandon Trish is a big one that I loved growing up. Michael Carter Williams, James Sutherland. I mean, I could go anywhere with this one. I think
you got to go Scoop, honestly, but it's your list.
Yeah. I mean, Scoop Jardine was the one that I loved so much. Like, he was the reason I got into Syracuse basketball. He just always felt like this older guy on the court. And, he's a New York guy and ended up playing for Syracuse too. Philadelphia guy. It was a lot of Philadelphia guys in this era too. Deion Waiters was another one. Chris Joseph. I know he's not from Philadelphia, but just another big time guy from that era. But I'm going to take Scoop Jardine here. My first Twitter account was called Scoop Van Doren. I don't even remember making that, but I found it, last year that I did have that Twitter account. One thing about Brandon Trish, I'll always remember this for some reason. One of my first games at the Dome, there were 2 guys behind me talking about the shoes that Brandon Trish was wearing because he changed his shoes. He was playing better. And they were black Kobe's, low tops. That's when the low tops were coming in.
Excellent. All excellent names you just said. Scoop Jardine, I think, is a fantastic pick. I'm disappointed, Kenny. The name I did write down was Michael Carter Williams. I liked Michael Carter Williams in college a lot.
Oh, wow.
He's pretty forgettable in Syracuse run.
Really?
I think he only played like 2 years. So that was like in his freshman year, he scored like 2.7 points per game. I just pulled it up.
I enjoyed it.
His sophomore year, he played in 40 games and he averaged 11.9.
I was a Michael Carter Williams fan, but those other names are also like, if not more iconic.
He won Rookie of the Year with the Bucks, right? Is that why?
No, he won Rookie of the Year with the 76ers, and then the Bucks traded for him, and he was bad. He was bad.
Oh man,
there's the Syracuse draft.
That's a good draft, Kenny. That's a fun bit. I like the names you pulled. That is funny. I totally forgot about Michael Carter Williams. It just feels like we could do 8 rounds of this, and I'd still run out of.
I have more. I have guys. I'm mad. I didn't pick.
Like I'd have a Santa's nice list of names that would be my honorable mentions. I'm gonna go with a more personal one because I grew up in North Carolina, so that's a huge college basketball area. And I grew up around that. I just took a guy that went to Duke. Now I'm going to take a guy that went to UNC, not because I think he's one of the best from the 2010s, but because I just grew up around all that. And this guy was a legend.
I have a guess in my head.
I think you know who it is. He hit the greatest forgotten shot I've ever seen.
Yep.
I am going with Marcus Page.
Great pick. Great pick.
The most obvious, great college basketball player, not going to do anything in the NBA. UNC, that's my favorite blue blood, I think, UNC, which is kind of ironic because I was a bit of an NC State fan growing up. But UNC basketball, I mean, I went to a game when I was a kid. It was just such a surreal experience. Just growing up around that Duke-UNC rivalry, that I have a special love for those programs. So I'm going to take Marcus Page, not because I think he's a top 4 or I guess top 12 or top 8 plus Syracuse college basketball player of the 2010s, but because he belongs on my personal Mount Rushmore.
Yeah. I really like that pick. I thought about Marcus Page. Like I was going to take somebody from that Villanova UNC game, whether it was Page, whether it was Jalen Brunson, whether it was Joel Berry, who is also an iconic player for those North Carolina teams, Archidiakono, like any of them. I like it though, Payton. I'm going to stick with the theme. Kenny obviously did the personal touch all through his draft. I'm going to pick my guy. I said that we were going to call back to that undefeated Kentucky team. Well, that undefeated Kentucky team shouldn't be known as that undefeated Kentucky team because they lost in the Final Four to Wisconsin. I grew up a massive Wisconsin Badgers fan. I still, they're my second favorite team in every sport still. And I remember, I think I've told this story on the podcast before. I was on vacation in the Cayman Islands. We were on the first floor of a hotel room, which is important because right outside of our door was the little pool in this little like timeshare hotel, small like thing that we were staying in. We were watching the game and the Badgers won the game and we sprinted around the pool yelling. And then a manager of the hotel knocked on our door and had to check if we were okay after they upset that Kentucky team. So I'm picking a guy from that team. Long-winded, long story short, it's the most iconic name from that Badgers team. I'm taking Frank the Tank, Frank Kaminsky, as my last pick. Gave me sports memories that I will cherish forever. Even though I am a Mizzou fan, I'll put it on record. If Mizzou plays Wisconsin in men's basketball, no question, Mizzou is where I will be leaning. But I have that backstory, so I'll take a personal player there and Frank the Tank to finish the draft.
That was such an interesting year too, because I remember after Kentucky had lost Julius Randle and everything from the year before.
And AD.
Not a ton of people expected a whole ton out of that Kentucky team. They still brought in, I think that was Booker and Kat were on that team.
Booker, Kat, Willie Cauley-Stein, the Harrison twins were still there.
Yeah, the Harrison twins, Aaron Harrison in particular. I
They
do
went to
remember
my rival
that
high
team
school.
very well, but what'd you say?
They did.
They
Yeah.
went to my rival high school. They went to straight Jesuit for
Oh,
a
yeah.
year or two,
How
and
about
then they
that?
had to transfer to a public school.
Dang.
They
Yeah,
beat Wisconsin in that in that Elite Eight the year prior as well. So it was like some revenge.
Yeah, but I remember it wasn't supposed to be like this crazy juggernaut team that would go to the tournament undefeated. I do remember that game very, very, very well. Like I remember watching it. I remember when Wisconsin won, I was like, I don't think Wisconsin's going to win the national title, and they did not. Sorry,
Yeah.
Jack.
No, it's weird. Like the Wisconsin fans I know hold a lot of contempt for Duke and like are mad about that national championship. I look at it a lot more as the hype of upsetting that undefeated Kentucky team and that being really cool. I don't know why, but that's like more of the memory that I carry.
Who did Duke beat in that
Michigan State.
Final Four?
It was
It was
Michigan
Michigan
State.
State.
West Virginia was in the Final Four, right?
A 7
No.
seed Michigan State.
West Virginia
What'd you
wasn't in
pick,
that
Kenny?
Final Four?
No, it was Michigan State, Duke, Wisconsin, and Kentucky.
There was one where West Virginia was in a Final Four recently.
That was I know which one you're talking about because that's the one where I forget who. It might have been Missoula. Missoula like blew
Oh,
out
yes,
his knee,
yes.
and like Bob Huggins is like hugging him on the court. It's really heartbreaking. I know what you're
Yeah.
talking about, Kenny, but I don't remember what it was.
2013 Final Four, Atlanta. That was the year Louisville beat Michigan. Louisville and Syracuse played in the semifinal. I was at a concert that day with my mom and then the brother and sister of my close friend Diego, because Diego couldn't go, so we went with his brother and sister. It's just kind of an odd thing. And
that is funny.
I wore a full Chris Joseph Syracuse basketball uniform to that concert. I wore the shorts, like I had the actual shorts. I remember them. They would look like Nike socks on the sides because it had the different color squares going up. It was that era of Nike basketball. And I was wearing the jersey as well for Chris Joseph. People were stopping me in the aisle, rooting for Syracuse. They didn't want to see Louisville win and ended up losing that game. But I do remember that. It was Luke Bryan that I saw too. That was before Luke Bryan was really big. Yeah.
Wow.
Luke Bryan in the year of our Lord 2013. That's wild.
That was Wichita State was in the Final Four that year too, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, it was either that year. I think it was the year after. Was there
one of those years?
Yeah.
One more thing I thought that was kind of cool out of this, in that signing class for Louisville, the year that they won the national championship, there were only 2 players. One of them was Montrezl Harrell.
Oh my God!
There you go.
Shout out Trez, beloved NBA role guy. Other guys I had on my board. Another more recent one. One of my favorite players, underrated from the one and done era, Malik Monk. I loved Malik Monk in college.
That was a really underrated Kentucky team. That was the year they lost to Luke May, right?
Yep. On the buzzer beater.
That was a great
Malik
team.
Monk, De'Aaron Fox, Bam was on that team. They were fun. Buddy Hield. I wrote
Buddy
down
Hield was Buddy Hield. If I wasn't going to go with Marcus Page, I was going to go with Buddy Hield.
I should have maybe taken him over Brunson, but that's fine. I wrote Aaron Kraft. I was in the weeds. If you guys remember Aaron Kraft,
I would
small
never.
Ohio State guard.
No, I would have taken Sullinger before I took Kraft.
Shane Larkin from Miami. I was a fan of him. Yogi Ferrell, Indiana. I enjoyed Rodney Hood.
He's not even the Indiana guard I think I would have gone with.
Well, you could do Oladipo as well.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Rodney Hood, Trey Burke from Michigan had one of that crazy shot against Kansas. From those Louisville teams, Kenny Russ Smith, he was their kind of lead guy on that national championship team.
Was he the point guard?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, I hated him growing up.
Yeah, I mean,
he was just so scrappy. He was just so good.
And then I also wrote down the other UConn national championship winning guard, Shabazz Napier.
Shabazz Napier was on my honorable mentions. Caleb Swanigan was up there for me.
Rest in peace. Also,
just kind of that entire Tennessee team with Bone, Schofield, Williams. You could have picked any of those guys. Even though I think that's the first college basketball team I hated. Like truly, like true.
There's
really
absolutely no way that's true.
I really did not like that Tennessee team.
There's no way that's true.
This John Wall was absolutely on my list. I think I considered Fred VanVleet for a second.
Yeah. Ron Baker.
But most of the other ones were guys you covered, Jack.
Carson Edwards, I'd throw from the Purdue team that beat that Tennessee team.
That's
had
another
an awesome run in the tournament. He was super fun. Oh yeah, I could do this for hours. This
I have one more.
Okay.
It's a Houston guy that was kind of unheralded. He started off at Howard College, which I didn't even know. But Rob Gray, I don't know if you guys remember this. He played for Houston.
He was like one of the first defensive, like just juggernauts under Sampson, right?
Yeah, and so he never made it to the NBA. He played for Fort Wayne for one season, but played overseas for a lot of the last couple of years. He's already 31. That's just like crazy to me that, he was like the guy I remember for when that turning point for U of H basketball. And he was just like the pride of the Cougars for a while.
I think I know him because I think Sampson, like Kelvin Sampson, like before the Final Four was getting asked about his early years at Houston, because it's pretty well known Houston basketball when Kelvin Sampson got hired was in a bad spot. Kelvin Sampson would have to walk around campus and hand out tickets. I think he talked about Gray in that as like one of the guys that helped like kind of turn it around.
Do you guys remember when Michigan hit a buzzer beater in the tournament against U of H?
Yes.
That was Rob Gray's team.
Yeah, that was a very like well-liked Houston team going into the tournament. Like the numbers really like that Houston team.
Payton, don't answer this. Kenny, do you remember who hit that buzzer beater for Michigan?
I do know this answer.
I don't remember the name, but I can see the play.
It's an NBA guy.
He plays in the
I was
NBA
in
now.
Florida when it happened.
He won a finals with the Warriors.
I'm not gonna get it. Go ahead.
It's
Jordan
Jordan Poole. Jordan
Okay,
Poole.
yeah, I knew that. I remember that.
Yep.
Here's another
like-
good Wisconsin basketball memory. Remember Chris Chiozza?
No. Don't do this.
Chiozza!
Don't do this.
Oh!
I also remember where I was for that. Yeah,
I
that
remember
was a dark day.
seeing a Twitter video of Chris Chiozza like showing his phone like afterwards. It was just ding, ding, ding.
I
ding.
remember that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw that. Well, yeah, that was a dark day, but that is an iconic shot. I can't lie. Yeah, we could do this forever. Feel free to put I don't know. I'll have to scheme up a way to relate this back to Mizzou people too, because this was very fun. So just more basketball Rushmores. I'm all for. Maybe we'll do one for Mizzou in our draft, so I'll look like Kenny's because we'll have to pick from the same team. But for now, we will finish the show. We have some Mizzou stuff to cover. We'll do that in quick hits. Okay, quick hits time. We'll finish out the show. We have Ken Sports Shorts. Kenny, no quiz this week? No Mizzou quiz?
I couldn't think of anything. I was trying to figure out something like G League related. I thought maybe I could find name every G League Mizzou basketball player since 2015, but it couldn't really find a solid list, and I didn't want to miss on anyone.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know much about Mizzou basketball before 2018. So we'll do just daily dozen trivia from Barstool. This week it works. So we'll get a score at the end, and we won't have to look up the answers in case we get any wrong.
Did you cheat already?
No, in case we have to turn it in. So we'll start with the NFL. Barkevius Mingo got drafted 6th overall by this AFC team in 2013.
I believe the Cleveland Browns.
LSU guy, right?
I don't have a better guess, so go for it.
I believe it was
Correct. College football. This All-American wide receiver played at Cal Berkeley from 2005 to 2007 and was an EA Sports cover athlete. I know this one.
He's got a card in cut right now.
Yeah.
College football ultimate team.
Jack, do you know it? I could give you a hint.
Yeah, drop me a hint. I'm trying
He's
to
the
see if I-
man.
That's a terrible.
That's a good hint. Have you ever seen Silver Linings?
He's the man. He's the man. He's 40. Mike Gundy.
No.
Have you ever seen Silver Linings Playbook, Jack?
That's a good hint when you explain it, Kenny. I don't think Jack will get it.
I don't know that one. No, I'm afraid.
Deshaun Jackson.
He
totally
could have
forgot
said
he
like
went to
Miracle
Cal.
at the Meadowlands or something like that.
MLB. Henderson Alvarez was an all-star and threw a
I love
no-hitter
him.
during his run with this National League East team from 2013 to 2015. I can only think of Henderson Alvarez with one team, and it is.
And I
the
think it's the
Yankees.
correct answer. I know the answer. This is a very famous clip. It was a
You were very-
walk-off no-hitter.
You were very giddy for that, Peyton.
I'm super happy. I love that I know this one.
Guess it.
Do you know it, Kenny? Who do you think it is,
Yeah.
Kenny?
The Marlins, right?
Yeah, it's the Marlins.
There you go.
I was really happy. I saw that clip maybe 2 days ago.
Books. After a 10-year exile in Siberia, Fyodor Dostoevsky wrote the 1866 novel following an
impoverished.
impoverished former law student who plans to kill an old woman pawnbroker. I hate to say I know this, and I can tell you guys why I do.
Because you cheated.
No, you could bonk me because I read this book because a girl liked it in high
Ah.
school. I read the book. I brought it with me to
To show
when I went
off.
No. I brought it with me. There weren't any girls at my high school, but no, I brought this book with me to Ireland for my graduation present. I read it on the bus rides.
Did it?
It's
Did it?
crime and punishment.
Did it work?
No.
Did you get a date with the girl? Oh.
No, I'm currently
Was it-
living with someone else. So
Was it
no.
a good book?
We'll have to hash it out with.
Yeah, it was
my
fine.
Darren.
It's fine. Sounds like a good.
Celebrity mashup for our YouTube viewers. Okay.
Okay, this is the face is once again Phoebe
Yeah,
from.
It's Linda
Friends.
something, right? Linda.
That's so funny. We got this again. Carter. Is it? Wait.
Is it Kudrow, right?
Yeah.
Lisa.
Lisa Kudrow. Yep. Okay.
I don't know who the guy is.
Is it Seth? Is it Seth
Norton or
Meyers?
something? That could be Seth Meyers.
Nice.
Oh,
Well
we're cooking.
done.
We're
Good
cooking.
job. I thought it was Ed
Five for
Norton.
five.
That's so
I
funny that
don't
it was Lisa Kudrow.
Lisa Kudrow again.
Based on the first letter of each word, what food brand uses or has used this abbreviation slogan? WWY.
What would you do for a
for a
Klondike
Klondike
bar?
Nice.
bar?
Yeah, I was
Nice,
thinking that
Payton.
too. This one. Though the WWY is very
Yeah, that was a good one.
overused. Yeah.
What's the
Television.
What would Oprah do?
Aubrey Plaza had a major role on this FX superhero series that was part of the X-Men universe from 2017.
Take it, Kenny.
Come on, guys.
This one is Legion. I haven't seen it. It's on Hulu and it keeps getting recommended to me, but I just never. I don't know anything about it. I just know I didn't even know she was in it. I just know that was the show.
Wow, we're 7 for 7.
Can we?
Sandra Bullock played a systems analyst whose records of her life have been deleted. Her house has been emptied, and now she has to reclaim her identity in this 1995 action thriller. I don't know.
I don't know.
This isn't. Oh,
There's that one Speed or something. It's a Sandra Bullock movie from that era.
don't
'Cause they
think
always
that's-
talk about it on the rewatchables.
It could be. Yeah, try it.
Speed
I don't
2.
think that's this one, but I don't know the movie. So
Yeah, these are the ones that they always talk about on the rewatchables.
Try it.
Speed and
Does it have Sandra Bullock in it?
yeah, that's like one of her
Okay.
most famous
I think
We
movies.
can maybe
I feel
double
like
dip.
I've heard of that movie, but I don't know what it is.
Take
Oh my
Me
God.
Home to the Place I Belong, West Virginia, Mountain Mama are lyrics from this artist's
a lot.
1971 song.
That is a softball.
John Denver.
How did John
Wow,
Denver die?
man, we could have been 9 for 9. I mean, I don't know what the movie is.
Speed 2?
No, I
Sure. Cruise Control. That's no way. That's right.
It's not right.
What was it?
I don't know. Let's see.
Let's see.
The Net.
The
No, I
Net.
don't know that. No.
No.
Oh well.
We're looking it up. Oh, there it is.
I might have seen this like
Not
cover
very good
before.
on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh wow, it's not.
Roger Ebert liked it.
Roger Ebert 3-4. Good for him. Noted reviewer. All right. Not bad though, boys. 8 out of 9. We did pretty good. We had some
We
easier
take 8
questions.
of 9 every day.
Kenny gets 9 of 9 every day because he cheats.
Yeah.
Continuing onward. Tigers in the Wild. Kenny, your
Tiger in
Tiger.
the Wild goes to Jacob Pruitt, new Mizzou baseball commit. Played at Mississippi State this past season. Numbers, aren't jumping off the wall at you. Played at Indiana State before Mississippi State, but 7.23 ERA in 2025. 9 appearances, 2 of those starts, 18 2/3 innings combined, 23 punchies, 15 walks, 250 opponent batting average against. I mean, like I said, nothing's jumping off the page at you at those numbers. But getting a pitcher in the SEC and keeping him in the SEC is maybe a good thing, especially with Mississippi State has had good run on pitchers, even though they did part ways with their longtime coach. And I just found this kind of interesting. So Brian O'Connor, who moved over from Virginia to become the Mississippi State coach. So there's a connection kind of there. The connection is that Drew Dickinson, the new pitching coach, came over from Virginia. So all these guys are kind of intertwined, but none of them have coached Jacob Pruitt before. So I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah, that is
one of them will be
actually
coaching Jacob
interesting.
Pruitt.
But,
A loose web.
yeah, like you said, I mean, SEC arm has good strikeout numbers. It's just doesn't seem like he's got much control. So maybe Dickinson can do something with him. You never know.
That is that 3 now for baseball in the portal? 3?
I couldn't tell you what we're at. I think it's more than that.
They
I
got
think
the-
it's like 5 or
I
6.
got the guy at a JUCO.
Maybe 3 pitchers, but they
We'll
have
find
more
it.
than that.
Payton. Oh, maybe that's what I was thinking of. Because I know they got the shortstop and a couple others. They got the guy from Texas.
Yeah, you're from Wichita
Second
State,
one.
right? Yeah, there's a lot in there.
Yeah.
So that's 4 at least. But moving
Payton,
on.
you know.
My Tiger in the Wild is going to be Shannon Welker, Mizzou's gymnastics coach. He threw out the first pitch at the Royals game the day we're recording this, actually, Sunday, July 13th. So if you went to the Royals game on Sunday, you saw him. Hopefully it was a strike. I don't think I saw how the pitch went if the game has started already. But cool thing for Shannon Welker. Again, maybe the most consistently good, the most consistently solid program at Mizzou right now, I'd say. So good for Shannon Welker.
The game is underway as we are recording this, so I'll try and track down a video of it. See if I can.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe someone tweeted it.
See if we can do a review of the pitch. But with that said, my tiger in the wild, as we search for it, is Bo Pribula. He went on a podcast for Front Office Sports, the one Adam Brenneman does. And I just saw this clip from it. I need to go listen to the full thing. But the headline was that he said Mizzou's facilities were nicer than Penn State's, which, without any context, is pretty funny. He didn't say it in like an actual, like, against Penn State way. He just kind of talked about being really blown away by how nice Mizzou's facilities were when he came on his visit. There's some other really cool stuff in the clip. He talked about having like an hour-long first meeting with Kirby Moore and Drink, where they just talked about schemes and stuff like that. And he was really impressed with kind of how driven they both were in terms of making them kind of an elite offense. So little peek behind the curtain there with how they recruited him and got him in the fold. And it's exciting. It seems like they've generated some good synergy. It's obviously fun kind of on the pod too. I know Brenneman was a Penn State guy and Pribula obviously left from there, but he did say that the facilities were nicer than Penn State's at Mizzou. So there's a W over the Big Ten school, but some cool stuff. He's very, I think Kirby Moore seemed to be a big factor as to why he wanted to come play quarterback for the Tigers. So get some excitement for Bo Pribula for next year.
I don't know enough about Penn State's facilities to weigh in one way or the other. So maybe he's telling the truth. Maybe he's just talking up the new school a little bit. I did find it interesting how he talked about how, like, I don't want to do photo shoots or anything on my visits to these places. I need to know like schemes and everything, like you said, with the meetings. So the meetings with the coaches were key. And that speaks pretty highly of Mizzou. I think that they were able to win that out then because it clearly was the main thing Bo Pribula was looking for. Needless to say, I think this season is really, really massive for both Pribula and Mizzou in general. I mean, we've talked a lot about how a portal QB was always kind of Drinkwitz's white whale. He never really, like, he would always flirt with some of these guys, JT Daniels, Jaden Daniels, Jerry Bohannon. That was all one-off season. And he tried to maybe get Keaton Slovis was a big name that they were linked to for a while. They never got one. Bo Pribula was the first one they really seemed like they emphatically wanted and actually landed. Yeah. So I think there's a lot of pressure for both sides for this to work.
Yeah. I don't know. I just, with this as well, when you look at that Payton, is like, I think this one time around, it was kind of a little bit easier maybe to get a transfer quarterback. So you're not saying you're coming in and battling with a guy that's going to have serious snaps like Brady Cook, someone that already has an established role. I think even, after the 2022 season, there were worries, about the injury, but I think it was a good way kind of, settling in and going up to quarterbacks and saying, like, you have an opportunity to actually play here. And you're not going to be necessarily battling for it. Even that, he hasn't named a starting quarterback. He does have Sam Horn in the picture. I think it's just still a little bit different. Facilities wise, one of the big things that I think I find, interesting is that when I write about these recruits, sometimes I'll mention the facilities. I kind of get tired of it because everywhere they go, they're going to see really nice facilities. But one time, this one kid did tell me that his dad, who played at Ohio State, and he wasn't going to come to Mizzou, but he just joined another recruit on a visit. He was like, I've been to Ohio State 1,000 times just because my dad played there. Mizzou has better facilities than Ohio State. So there's legitimate, advantages to what Missouri already has and some of the things that they're still adding.
It was funny too, because the specific thing that Pribula said, he said he was impressed that he took an elevator up to where the coaches were on the fourth floor of the thing. I'm like, Penn State doesn't have elevators. You just got to take the stairs, I guess. In Penn State, he wasn't very specific, but you know what? You take any win you can get, I guess. I mean, this is a good, kind of on a scheduling note too. At the end of July, we're going to get into our position previews. We did this last year where we'll kind of preview every position group leading up to the start of the season. And as we go through fall camp, along with all the news stuff that comes out. And I think a lot of these talks that we're going to have preseason are going to hinge on, and in terms of how we project Mizzou, are going to hinge on how Pribula does. And I think it's an important year for being that first time you get a transfer quarterback. Can you hit on kind of that first real one that, to Kenny's point, actually has a chance to really compete and win that job?
I would say that was true after 2022, I think, when Slovis maybe was kind of being looked at. But in 2021, when they wanted to maybe grab, or I'm sorry, I'm getting my dates mixed up. Going into 2023 when they wanted Slovis, I think that probably is more true. But I mean, up until when they looked at Jaden Daniels, JT Daniels, and Jerry Bohannon, Cook had made one career start.
Right.
So, I mean, they very much did not want Brady Cook to start that season, I think, or maybe just preferred more competition at least. I think this is the first time where it's really you're seeing a transfer QB come in with the expectation of starting, is what I was trying to say.
I think you can even throw another wrinkle into it. The only returning quarterback that's not a walk-on is coming off Tommy John surgery.
Right.
They probably told this quarterback, you have a very strong chance of coming in and being that instant impact. You're still going to have to battle with a guy that they believe in Sam Horn. And, that's why Drinkwitz hasn't officially named a quarterback. But I think it was just probably a better situation for a lot of transfers. And some guys went elsewhere, but I think a guy like Bo Pribula, big chip on his shoulder from what we've heard, what we've seen, even in that podcast, you can tell he's always had that chip on his shoulder. I think he wasn't really afraid of the competition.
Yeah. And I will say, I mean, if Sam Horn goes out and wins the competition, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that means Sam Horn really did take the competition seriously. And I mean, they've talked about his talent a ton. This was a big time recruit that just hasn't had things bounce his way really, but I still think it is, it would be a surprise right now. I don't think it's unfair to say it would be a surprise if it wasn't Bo Pribula taking the first snaps against Central Arkansas.
It'll be interesting when we have these conversations heading into the fall, when we learn more, get some more intel out of fall camp. Headlines. Am I doing Payton or Payton? Are you going first for headline, Kenny?
I guess I'm going first for headlines.
Right,
because pull up the right one. I'm messing with you, Kenny. But this is the big one, I think, the one we'll have the most discussion over. It's Philly. This comes from ESPN, by the way. It's Phillies rip MLB for adding Jacob Mizurowski to All-Star roster. And it's exactly what the headline sounds like. The MLB, sorry, Major League Baseball added Jacob Mizurowski to the NL All-Star team, despite only making 5 starts. And many people were up in arms, in particular the Phillies, who have 2 pitchers who are very much deserving of all-star bids in Ranger Suarez and Christopher Sanchez. Christopher Sanchez, I believe, also missed out on some sort of roster bonus or some sort of incentive bonus, according to The Athletic. But I mean, Trey Turner said, "What a joke. That's effing terrible." I mean, that's terrible, dude. He told that to The Athletic. It's turning into the Savannah Bananas. Nick Castellanos said that. That's just how MLB does it now. Nothing against the Mizurowski kid, but Suarez and Sanchez are deserving of being on the team in the first place, no doubt. Look, man, I know Mizurowski has absolutely broken onto the scene. He has electric stuff. He's going to be a great pitcher. This is absolute nonsense that he is on the team over those 2 in particular, but just I think it's ridiculous. A rookie that has made 5 career starts is on the roster in general. Skeens was kind of a debate last year. I think Skeens was a bit more deserving just because he made literally double the amount of starts Mizurowski did. I just think it's a little silly, especially from the one All-Star game in major sports that is taken legitimately seriously and played like an actual game. It doesn't make much sense for him to be there.
I mean, I'm right there with you, Payton. Frankly, I'm a Brewers fan. I've loved what Mizurowski has done since breaking on. I'm really excited to keep watching him. It's super cool. how strong he started, and he's such an electric player. But I agree with you. My first reaction and hand up, I didn't know that there was no eligibility requirements for the All-Star game. But when I first heard this, I was surprised he was even like allowed to be selected because he has played so little. So, I mean, I understand where everyone else is coming from for sure. I mean, I definitely, will enjoy watching him. I mean, I kind of feel bad for him. Like if he gets shelled in this game or anything, he's going to kind of catch flack that, he didn't really earn. He was just selected. It's not his choice to go or not one way or the other. But yeah, I agree. I think it's a little silly. He's a rookie. He's going to be playing for a long time. I don't know why you're not putting two guys who have way more starts and have done way more this season in the game and give them the benefit to play in that. As much as I love Jacob Mizorowski. So I agree. It's hard not to have bias for me, but I'm right there with you. I think it's wild. There's no eligibility requirements in to me.
And again, Mizorowski, fantastic pitcher. He will be a great player for a long time. Just think it's a little silly we're rewarding him this early.
Yeah, it is wild. But there you go. So I guess he'll be an all-star, and we'll see how it goes. Kenny, your headline this week, my friend.
Headline this week comes from the Indiana Fever. Sophie Cunningham's double-double. Kelsey Mitchell's 25 points lead Fever to win versus Dream. This game was on Friday, July 11th. You probably saw a couple posts about Sophie Cunningham in this game. It was her first career double-double. First double-double of the season with 16 points, 10 rebounds. Big win, 99-82 over the Dream. There's been some injuries for the Fever this year. Do have that in-season tournament win, but trying to get things back on the right path as they welcome back Caitlin Clark here soon. And Sophie Cunningham, I mean, she's been just every week. It seems like we have something new to say about her and just her time with the Fever. And this one's more of, not necessarily something she's saying, but something she's doing on the court.
Yeah. That she has been in the news quite frequently. They played again here on Sunday when we're recording this. She had another good game, 13 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists off the bench. So hitting her stride, perhaps, Sophie Cunningham, 2 wins in a row for the Indiana Fever. So there you go. Are we an Indiana Fever podcast now? Is this just a Sophie Cunningham podcast wherever she goes? We just have to follow. That's our WNBA fandom. Just Sophie Cunningham fandom. That's where it has to go. I think that's where it has to go. My headline of the week also comes from ESPN. Michael C. Wright doing some reporting from Vegas. The headline reads, Harper Spurs outlast Flag Mavericks at NBA Summer League. I used a headline. I'll have some Mizzou stats as well. It's always cool to see the number 1 and number 2 pick play. They obviously make that happen over there in Vegas. And Cooper Flag and Dylan Harper did play. They've already shut Cooper Flag down for the rest of Summer League after I think 1 or 2 games. They've just started. That's pretty regular with the number 1 overall pick. He's already done. He did play well. They lost. Dylan Harper won, but Flag did have 31 points, 10 of 21 shooting. Harper 16 in 20 minutes. I think Dylan Harper hadn't been playing. I think he was hurt for a little while. But more importantly, I also use this to throw some Mizzou stats from the beginning of Summer League. Caleb Grill, he had a decent game against the Raptors, 8 points, 3 rebounds, 3 steals. In that one, actually, that was a different game. He had 6 against the Raptors. Tamar Bates had 13 points in maybe the ugliest way you could score 13 points. Not to be too tough on him, it is a Summer League game. 6 of 16 from the field. Tamar, he's 0 of 7 from 3. But you know what? Sometimes the stat line you just get. Kobe Brown had a good first game with the Clippers as well. He had 14, 4 and 4, and 2 steals against Kenny's Rockets in like a 2-point win. So couple of decent showings for some of the Missouri guys. Summer League will continue the next few days over there in Vegas.
I saw a lot of Nuggets fans tweeting about Tamar Bates' defensive effort. That doesn't really shock me. He was very intense at times at Missouri. Not really much that surprises me. Caleb Grill for my Chicago Bulls. I said it would make me watch the Summer League, and I promptly did not watch the Bulls Summer League game. So I'll try and be better about that.
Yeah, I have to be more locked in during the week when the Missouri guys are on. But I don't know. I'm really hopeful for Kobe. I want him to finally try and crack some of that Clippers rotation, because I continue to read good things that the Clippers brass likes him. So, but we'll see. It's tough. They're a good team. But that's all I got, fellas. We'll have more Jacob Crow news are coming up. Did I say Jacob Crow? Jason Crow. Wow. Get my head out of the gutter. Payton, do you have a joke for us to end the show?
I sure do, Jack. Guys, this one comes from our favorite TV series, The Today Show. Guys, how do frogs invest their money?
How do frogs say it?
In leaps and bounds.
Invest.
In leaps and bounds. No, Kenny.
Something with like something like a
Lily pad. I don't know.
lily pad.
They use a stock croaker.
Okay.
Little wordplay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
I guess. Yeah.
It's like the second. Or what'd you do before? You did a toad joke, didn't you?
Yeah, there was a toad joke
yeah.
last time, I think.
What type of
Open
sandal
toad.
frog wear? Open toad.
Open toad. Continuing with the frog humor.
Frog
All right.
humor. It's good.
That'll do it for the unwritten rule. We, like I said, we'll have more Jason Crow. Wherever he ends up committing, we'll talk about it and wrap that up. And it'll be an interesting week of anticipation for Mizzou fans as we wait for that to drop. Other news coming as well. And like I said, just in a couple more shows, we will begin our position previews for Mizzou football. I won't say the order yet until we fully lock it in what positions we're going to do first, but very excited to get to August, start getting some fall camp news trickling out and all that good stuff as we build up to the season, fellas. It's right around the corner. College football 26 is out. We've got something to hold us over, at least for that, until IRL college football 26 starts. But until then, we will see you next time. Like, subscribe, do all that stuff. Put Mount Rushmore topics in the chat as well for the rest of the month. We'll see you later.